Welcome to There Are No Words, but We Have a Few, a podcast created by three mothers bonded by the unthinkable, losing a child. I'm Anastasia Brown, joined by Don Huie and Valerie Allen. We each have received the call that shattered life as we knew it, whether through suicide, addiction, or mental health struggles. People often don't know what to say to us, so we started saving ourselves. In this space, we speak raw truth about grief, love, and the long road to healing. They say grief shared is grief halved. We're here to share it with you. We recorded these first episodes in my music room, not as experts, but as mothers surviving the unimaginable. If you found us, you're not alone. Join us, for there are no words, but we have a few.
I'm Anastasia Brown.
And I'm Don Huie.
And I am Valerie Allen. And this is There Are No Words, but We Have a Few. Last week, I think Dawn had mentioned where we left off, talking about and leading into solutions, tools that we've discovered through our grief walk, and also things to say from an outside perspective as well to a grieving human. And
right, just like hear some advice from three mothers that have experienced the worst pain a human being can experience. We've lived it, and we'll give advice with love, not judgment.
absolutely.
There's no shade, because we've all done it. We've all said something, oops, like put our foot in our mouth. Huh?
Yes, and we've all shied away from somebody who's going through a hard time, where you see them coming and your first thought is to run and hide. And that, for the person struggling, that is very isolating, knowing that they can do that to people.
Yeah.
And that people are afraid of approaching their pain and grief.
And not being authentic causes discomfort to the person kind of disappearing because they see us and our pain. And it also causes pain to the person who just lost a child.
I think the fear in it, or the awkwardness in it, is the, like what you were saying, like, I'm gonna duck and roll when I see that person because I really have no words to offer them, or it becomes such an uncomfortable situation. But the truth is if you just hit it with truth, in my opinion, if you hit me with truth, I'm so cool with it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm almost more cool with direct communication than anyone walking on tiptoes around me. Like I'll just drop the bomb, like especially like in a situation where, when someone asks you, do you have any children? And it's such an awkward question, right? And I'll just be like, I did. He's in heaven. He crossed over. I like to just cut to the chase, and then it diffuses all of that awkward energy, at least in my experience with grief and the outside world. Mm-hmm. And those who totally can't handle it fall away.
Yeah, very much so. But also those who love us. There's also phases. Like the first 3 months are just so raw. You kind of actually have to walk on eggshells. When you go visit someone you love after they've lost a child, definitely don't walk into their home for the first time to grieve with them, showing that mother pictures of their new grandbaby.
Oh no.
Like brand new grandbaby, and I'm never gonna have grandchildren. And so before you go visit someone who's lost a child, really do maybe rehearse what you will and won't say, and then it won't be like you're walking on eggshells because you have a plan.
That's an interesting, I never thought of it that way. I really like that because it gives you that kind of reflection moment, or it's like taking a deep breath and going, okay, I'm about to greet or see a friend of mine who has had monumental loss, and I have no idea how to handle this right now. To slow down a little bit and really think through it is really a healthy perspective.
And trying to be happy and not sad, because it's such an awkward tight line, because I hate those sad eyes. But I also don't want to see a picture of your grandbaby like I normally would.
And the other thing that so many people said to me is, I don't know what to say because I don't want to make you cry. Is said so often, and
it happens so often.
And it does happen so often, but it is impossible for another person to understand, you're not making me cry. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It might happen especially in the beginning, at the drop of a hat, and even now, it can blindside me in weird and mysterious ways.
Most certainly.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
And they don't know what landmines
No.
will,
It's
will
unpredictable.
explode
Mhm.
between the two of us.
Mhm.
You know, I ventured out my first event after Wilson died. Was a birthday party for a close friend of mine, and I asked her. I said, because I think it was maybe 4 months after Wilson died, and I had been isolating in my bedroom crying, and I went, oh, okay, I gotta venture out one day, and I said, it's gonna be big, and she's like, no, and so I go there, and I go straight to someone I actually know, and she was sitting someone next to her I don't know, and she's like, do you remember when we met? And I go, I'm so sorry, I don't. You know, grief brain is real.
Yeah.
And she said, well, it was 30 years ago, and my son died when he was 30. And we were both pregnant with our babies and doing water aerobics. Does it ring any bells? And I'm going, oh no, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She must not know. And I'm like, and I'm starting to back away from the table, about to cry. And she goes, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, that's a rough one.
And I had not allowed myself to even recall being pregnant or giving birth. I couldn't go there yet. And she forced me into that memory way too soon.
So that's, all right, so what I take from that is to approach a grieving human with just openness and great love, and not like nervous stories and over chatty and
Try to connect. Oh, I just lost
Yeah.
my 89-year-old grandfather. Just trying to connect.
oh my god, or the pet, the comparison.
Oh, I
to
just
pets.
lost. Yes.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me, and I'm like, excuse me, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'm really trying to appreciate your wanting to connect to my grief, but please don't take comparing my grief to the loss of your favorite pet, because I know that hurts. Believe me, I know. I've lost, I mean, after Rosino died, his dog died 1 week later. Just, she left the planet right. She was like, you know what, I'm out.
Lucky
Literally.
dog.
I know, she left, and it's funny because she was the dog that would lay in his suitcase to not want him to leave when he would, because he traveled a lot. Like, so she left with him. But I understand the analogy, like how you want to or think it was cool, but it's not cool at all.
I think that's
It's
the
just not.
number one piece of advice all three of us would offer. Because I know there's love, but never compare, ever. Because
Yes.
you just can't compare grief.
But, and then one to do would be, I know how meaningful it is to me, even to this day, when somebody will come up with a story that of a memory with my son,
Oh, I
or that
love that.
includes my child.
I love
And,
that.
you know, typically it's from another mom who has a child who is Ryan's age. Oh, remember when?
Mhm.
You know, they did blah, blah, blah. And usually that brings a smile.
Yeah.
You know, it can also just
Landmine.
landmine you and, you know, give you that aching hole again, like, oh, I wish I was back there. Which I definitely have sometimes, where I was like, gosh, when I thought it was so hard, you know, young kids and no time and shuffling them every place.
It's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, and then just going, I wish I had that back.
I know, it's
To
what
do
you
that
don't know.
again and again and again, you know.
But you don't know. Just speaking of like the story moment where people offer memories in storytelling, I had on Mother's Day, which was recently, I had a friend of mine send me a really beautiful text, and he said he wrote me the perfect phrase, and it just said, happy memories. Just happy memories today.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I thought a lot about that. And no other words were necessary for him to rearrange what I was feeling, instead of that kind of that longing, you know, that feel, you know,
Yes.
longing is so powerful when you're missing child, it's the most excruciating. It just feels like your chest is being ripped open.
Yeah.
And so he sent me that, and it shifted the way I approached the memories on that day, and still today. Is like, my God, Z would never want me to mourn a beautiful memory. So I love that. That's an awesome thing to kind of offer, at least our inner circle humans, to say, guys, just offer me really great stories and memories, because that's where it feels really good, even if you step on a landmine.
Well, and I love the way you just phrased it, where you said he wasn't trying to rearrange your feelings.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, he wasn't sitting there trying to go, oh, and just remember the good times, or no. He just, it was simple, and he wasn't trying to control or force happiness or joy.
Or getting it over faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
one friend literally just said to me on the year mark of Wilson's death, okay, it's been a year, you need to re-engage now.
oh no.
Oh,
Oh no. They just don't get it. I've had friends too say, why can't you just have
It's
fun?
hard to imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's no connection to your pain in a sentence like that. Zero connection. Like, really?
And the enormity of, what still remains and will always remain. I read this great paragraph about resilience, and we all, think, oh, I want to be resilient and, just be able to take it all in, and they go, but resilience really has to do with like how a plastic, it pops back, it's resilient, it pops back to the way it was. And they just said, in being resilient, a person never goes back to exactly how they were before. And I thought that was such a good visual for me, because I'm like, okay, I'm resilient, I'm not gonna let this take me down. Yes, and I am different. Right. I'm a different shape now, I'm a different form.
Entirely.
100%. I do miss that, the woman I used to be.
Oh, me too.
Everyone has to deal with grief in their own way, but giving advice to someone who's just lost a child is probably not the best idea. So, because rearranging their emotions. So, someone advising me to just kind of walk around the pain. And before I went to onsite, it just didn't feel right to me. Like, I'm never going to be able to walk around this pain. Ever in my life. If I live as long as 90, I still won't be able to walk around this pain. Onsite, they say with support. And this is why, like our group gathering and this, with support, helping, like with God and your friends, helping you carry that weighty grief. You have to walk right through it, but you can't do it alone.
Right.
And that really helped me when I saw that at onsite.
It's powerful, because there is, without doubt, and I mean this like with great respect to all of my fellow parents that are grieving, is pain is powerful. And I feel like embracing the pain, because again, it's not going anywhere. It isn't. This is a permanent relationship that we are having with our pain, the depth of it, and our grief, and our connection with spirit, with God. And so for me, like, I remember distinctly, like, making that decision early on, that I was going to walk straight into my pain, and if I survive it, then I'm meant to do something here. At the time, I have more time. I have some purpose here. And if I don't get through it, I don't get through it. Then it's fine if I go underwater. At that point, like when I made that decision, I didn't care either way, honestly. Now I have more, having, isolated for a while was definitely like, I don't care. Really, if I live or die, it was that existential moment. I have no purpose, all of that. Coming together, definitely to your point, and to your point, is that grieving together is what keeps it manageable and tolerable, and also offers hope. Because I think, like, if we can grab on that light of hope, that causes inspiration.
Exactly.
So
yeah. And I don't know about you two, but I've been blessed, like we all have, with an amazing group of true friends, and for more than 30 years. And my love for them will never change. But I need time with people who've gone through what I've gone through. And sometimes I worry in my mind, and that I hope they know that our friendship's the same. I just need a little bit more time with people who've actually been through it.
They do,
And
they know.
some do and some don't. And I just want those, I don't want to lose more people. I can't lose more people.
I say I'm so transparent these days, like I'm almost sometimes borderline rude.
I know.
Me
too. But
So, but it's
ask for what I need.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
when I don't, it goes south really fast.
honestly, that's important. Ask for what you need, and the people who really love you know and accept it. They know your truth. It's just living our truth, and it's a new truth. Going back to you missing your old self and you missing your old self. It's a new truth that we're getting into, and a lot of it is about mortality.
And I think the other number one advice to do for grieving parents is not to isolate, and that is so hard. I mean, I literally, and there's no judgment on if it's 4 months you leave your bedroom, 6 months, a year you finally leave your bedroom, but a goal should be to be with community, and especially those who you really know that love you, and those who
really
just
understand.
meeting. Like you, we've known each other, but I just met you through our mutual grief, and that is
It's
so
a deeper
important.
knowing.
Yeah.
It is a deeper knowing when you find that community of other parents, and I'll even dig deeper, other moms, because for me it's just different.
Moms
Talking
raise
to
different.
women and moms who have lost a child, and no matter how they've lost the child, medical emergency, gunshot, overdose, accidental, fall, car accident, the grief of losing your child out of order is monumental, and just that ability to look in another mom's eyes
Is
and know
huge.
that there's just that deep understanding, that knowing.
And by saying that, the three of us are not ever thinking or saying that a mother's grief is bigger than a father's grief. It's just different.
Well, we
100
communicate even without grief. We communicate differently.
100%. Yeah.
It's like guys are like. I mean, I don't mean to say "oh yo bro," but guys are more tough with each other. More like, and women, we're taught from the very beginning to communicate. Be solution oriented. It's a different vibe, and it isn't like a judgment or anything like that. I agree totally.
Yeah.
And then also speaking to isolation, because it is so easy to want to isolate when you're hurting and you're wounded. Like it's like a stab wound to your soul when you lose a kid. And so, of course, if you're broken like that, you want to retreat, right? I totally wanted to retreat too. Going back to the thought of meditation, that was the point. What I was trying to say earlier is, and also to your point about it, there is no timeline for when you want to walk out of that bedroom and join in with other grieving parents or whatever the effort might be, even if it's to make a cup of coffee for yourself. Some days that's hard. Get dressed.
Yes.
But that,
brush your teeth.
and comb your hair.
And I normally brush my teeth like 5 times a day.
Me too. Yeah.
No, right? To make the efforts of just like re-entry, if you will. But living. It's a decision.
Right.
And
to not get the fuckets.
Yes.
Yeah. And
that's a good.
To just go, it's not worth it. Nothing is worth anything anymore. Is real. That feeling.
It's so real. Like I mean, of course, in school you read the existentialist, the transcendentalist. You go through you learn all these things, right? And I loosely, socially would use the term, "Oh, I'm having an existential crisis," blah 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 blah.
Right.
Had no idea what that really felt like. I now know what that feels like. When you feel zero hope, you feel no purpose, and what is the point? I understand existentialism, and going back to when a grieving parent is isolating, that's where I found books to be helpful. And obviously books are not created equal, but that was my first reach out into the world to connect. Was, okay, I don't trust humans hurt, humans this, humans that, I was just like very self-protective, but I was like, oh, I could read Brian Weiss and past life regressions, and I can meditate to his CD, or I could do this or whatever.
Right.
That connection started the opening to then allow communication with other humans, and then to eventually find my grief tribe.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, because along with the, existential crisis goes, for me at least, nobody else cares.
Right.
Because, you just kind of feel like this island. Nobody else gets it, nobody cares, nobody can help. So you do just, the ability to find somebody to talk to has some barriers you have to have the energy to jump over to trust again. Because you lose some trust along with the hope.
It's a big blow too, not to trust. I think it's also going back to like self-reflection. I mean, just trusting yourself after such a loss.
Right.
Because
and feeling judged
Because as a mom.
Because it's like
your job is to keep your child alive.
Bottom line, and I know you guys know this, but boy, did I kick my own ass in every thought that I had, in every memory. Oh my God, you could have, you should have. What were you thinking? You're a selfish idiot. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you make that phone call? Why didn't you take him out of school when he was sad and bring him to his favorite place on planet Earth? You could have done all those things, Valerie. You could have, would have, but it's such a dark hole, and that's a rough place, because you have to meet your own truth and go, okay, am I into you right now, or am I not into you right now? Right. And you have to say at some point, okay, I'm into you again. My truth, you're my truth. Okay, I own you now, and I can trust myself.
And I really encourage the human race to, because I've overheard people say judgmental things about other parents who've lost children, and I was just shocked. And I feel like the human race should nip that in the bud, because there's no parent deserves judgment like that, because
100%.
we all did literally everything in our power.
We did
everything in our power. I would have given my own life as would
absolutely
Yes.
And so. Yeah.
It's self-acclaimed.
So it's just really started with love.
Yeah.
Yes. And empathy and benevolence. When I look at you two, I feel your pain like, I don't know, it's grace, it's space, it's absolute love. Like, I'll be like bouncing around my house and like feeling a grief moment, the little waves of the big waves of grief.
No,
and then
one now.
And then I'll flash to your face, and I go, I just love her. Or I'll think of something that you might have said, and I'm like, I just love her. Like having that grounding force of love. Really, it sounds so simple and kind of cliche, but it really keeps my feet on this planet.
And I don't know about you two, but my thinking, and I think this is true with most of the world, if they're going to be honest, my brain could go really dark, and just like my son, and I could beat myself up as long as I want to.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not the only one. And I'm so, I've never had to work so hard, fight so hard to control my thoughts in my life until now.
It's a big one. It's a big one. When I go down, like when I'm realigning my words to self, I meditate. And then, I argue. It's so, I don't know, everybody has their own journey of meditation, because it's such a trip.
Yeah.
Because the brain is so forceful and so loud.
Yeah.
And it just wants to, like at you, like, Valerie, the noise is mind-boggling. So, like, when I lay down or sit, whatever it is, to grab quiet, I have to let the noise, I almost laugh at it sometimes. I'll let the thought come in and I'll go ping and I turn it into magic fairy dust. Literally, I visualize.
Yeah.
Okay, that thought needs to turn into magic fairy dust because it's negative and now it needs to be turned into positive.
Right.
So I go back and forth for
Yeah,
like 10 minutes of
Yeah.
blowing up and blowing things into magic fairy dust or whatever it is to clear my head, to have peaceful thoughts about even myself. You know, a question, and I'd love you guys to answer this if you feel like it. I like in the sense of, you know, the negative thoughts that you have or the blame that you cast upon yourself. The one thought that brings peace to my world is if Rosino survived, if he did not overdose and he was still here, would you have any regrets? And honestly, other than being a little bit of a workaholic because I was a single parent, I wouldn't. But now that he's gone, I regret everything. At times. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, my son was a grown man. He was 30.
Yeah.
I think I was a helicopter parent for the first time when he was 29 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
And he hated it. And he actually, the more I leaned in, the more he leaned out.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried and I tried and I called and his dad did too, and his stepmom did too, and his sister did too. We were all leaning in. But that made him lean out even more. And after he died, I was like, well, I should have just, set up a tent outside his front door and just lived in front of outside his front door.
Right?
Yes. You know, he's a grown man, and Al-Anon would tell me not to do that.
Right, and you had proof that leaning in wasn't helping, so living in was definitely
I'm moving in. Can I have your key?
Right. Yeah.
No, it's really true though. It's
Yeah.
the mind is a crazy place.
Yeah, regret is such a fraught word. You know, I do have regrets from some of my choices throughout life, but I honestly have come to the point after much thought and processing that all those choices and paths and circuitous curlicues I created
Circuitous curlicues.
brought me here.
Sure.
And I can't imagine being anyplace else. That being said, it would be really cool to see who Ryan would be 10 years later.
Sure.
I regret not being able to see him grow up.
I'm just sad I'm never going to have grandchildren.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wilson wanted between 3 and 5 children. He was so excited about being a father, and I was so excited about being a grandmother.
It's a crazy shift that is asked upon a parent who loses a child. It's a crazy awakening, in a way. I mean, awakening because if you want to survive it, you have to jump into your spiritual self, and you have to look.
100%.
You have to start unraveling what your true beliefs are. Like, not your intellectual at a dinner party, cute little lines about spirituality or this or that. You really have to have your faith, and you have to live and breathe your faith and make a commitment. Like you cannot be like commitment phobe when it comes to how. It's like it's a forced thing that it's almost like you don't have a choice in it because you have to look at your truth and look at your God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never wanted to be in perfect alignment with God as much as I do now.
Oh God.
I mean,
yes.
And I'm telling you about everything in life. Everything in life.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. It's even work. Like, what I say yes to and what I commit to has got to have a purpose, and it's got to be in alignment with God.
I think it's helped me understand, the importance of interdependence of all aspects.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because losing Ryan affected everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's helped me get firm in that idea that everything I do going forward will affect everything else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
no one choice over here in what I do personally is not going to affect how I act over here outside in the community. I don't know if that makes sense, but that idea of everything belongs and everything has to work together, for good.
Yes.
And,
Expansion.
We touched on this before, that idea that Ryan did not live one day shorter than he was meant to.
Agreed.
He lived to the end of what his life's purpose was.
I do agree. I agree with that concept entirely.
And so then that puts you into, okay, it's this huge puzzle. So that was his piece.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't understand what the full picture is, to take that metaphor further, because we've only got this little piece, our little pieces that we have control over.
To me, the word faith just kept jumping into that story.
Yeah.
Because it was like,
Right. I'm not in charge.
No.
Yeah.
And again, back to trust.
Much to my dismay.
Mine too. Yours too.
Well, expansion is painful. Now I know. Actually, now I feel like I can confidently say that I am consciously expanding and unconsciously expanding, and it's painful, like literally growing pain. Seriously, like your soul is being stretched to like sometimes like where you feel like your body's not big enough.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like my body's not big enough for this pain and the expansion and the ask from my spiritual self and from the non-physical world, the ask to live with this type of thing, expand intellectually, expand spiritually, and have all that faith and trust and belief that this is exactly the way it was meant to be. This is
I'm
how
not there yet.
Oh, it takes.
It
takes a lot of time. It takes some time.
I'm crawling. I'm not standing yet.
No, that.
Because I hope I get to those two places because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
It takes time. I'm 7 years deep, and you have aha moments every now and then, but without the existential crash, without the dark spaces that we can enter in our grief, without feeling that spectrum of pain, and then this spectrum of light, hope, faith, and God, there will be no expansion. Because it's pushing on both ends, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's pushing you and growing you. And so like, I feel honestly that my purpose, that's my new purpose actually, is aligning with my God. And that's how I'm finding it.
Right.
With when you could say something that you believe in, but to viscerally to feel it viscerally and to have it become part of you, it's like this growing, just like if you're getting taller, it's just a physical experience in a lot of ways.
I bet we've all had physical experiences. This, I'll just tell you mine, and then I want everyone to share. This is the most physical I've ever felt. My son was born on January 28th and he died on April 28th. So the 28th is a double whammy. And one morning, maybe 3 months after Wilson died, it was 4:28 a.m. on maybe 4:28. It could have been. And I just woke up literally sobbing, convulsing, just remembering his birth. Like, why? And Wilson came to me and said, Mom, 28th was the best day of your life, and it was the worst day of your life. How about you focus on the best day of your life? It's all about perspective. And God came in and followed that with amazing encore. And I felt like, when we got epidurals or any vitamin infusions, well, I felt like I got a God infusion through the base of my spine that went straight to my toes and to the top of my head. It was physical. And then he was with my son saying, Mom, focus on the good.
Well, that's exactly. Like it is a big human experience.
Yeah. I mean, did you?
I have not had anything that physically evident about Ryan, like that was not achieved without speaking through somebody else, if you will. You know, there are several people in my life who are able to connect in more visceral ways to spirits and souls that have passed, and I'm not gifted that way. And I long for an experience like that. I've felt warm embraces.
Well, that is an
And
experience.
that is, I've not heard his voice.
But isn't that embrace like when they're giving you a spiritual hug?
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, it's
And then-
wild.
I've also had people say when you have that sudden tearful moment, that is them. You feeling their presence nearby. And I'm like, well, darn, I'd rather have it be a funny thing rather than a tearful thing. But just that sudden need to cry is just them being nearby and you feeling their love.
That 100%. I have that experience all the time, where they get so close to me, you feel them so deeply. Well, them, I'm referring to my son and my father, because he's there too, which brings comfort to me.
Yeah.
Because they loved each other. They were so tight. But you know, that feeling that where it just so close, where you just lose it. And I always kind of look to a corner, because I always feel like Z's hanging out in the corner, and I'm trying to find him in those moments, and I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I miss you so much. That's that longing for you is where that emotion comes from, because sometimes he'll either channel through me or channel through a medium or some really beautiful spiritual gifted human, and he'll be, the last thing in the world he wants me to do is cry. And so I'll have these little kind of funny, because we used to have a lot of humor with each other, like mama blah and blah, and we tease each other. It was really kind of a very cool relationship. So I tease him and say, I know you don't want me to cry, but man, this is your fault. I'd be being playful, but it's really that's so real, Dawn. That is really real. So next time you get an emotion, look for Ryan. See if you can find him, because they're that close. When I meditate, I always roll down a path upstairs and into this gorgeous rose garden, and Z's temple, his other side of the house, the temple is beautiful, and sometimes I get invited. And this very particular meditation, I was in deep. I was there, and he invited me in, and he has these beautiful dark almond. His eyes glow now, with warmth and love. I don't think there's a word to explain the feeling I receive when I see him on the other side. So he wanted me to see his perspective of me. So he invited me to the front of this beautiful, very mini Notre Dame, if you will, that ancient feeling that you get there of that type of cold but beautiful space, and the light coming in. And so he brings me to this circle, and I lean on this little stool that is wrapped around the circle, and he just looked, and I looked in the circle, and it was his perspective of the world. And they're that close. Literally, it was like that stool. And I could see how he watches me. And it was so vivid and so real. If I could take a picture of it and just hand it to you guys, it's breathtaking what their perspective is of us. And he gifted, that's what he did. He gifted, I looked, he looked at me, we made that beautiful eye contact, and then I left through the same way, through the rose garden and out, and caught my breath coming out of the meditation. And the love was overwhelming. Of course I cried. It was so powerful. But then it was so real what I was looking at. So that's how close they are. Right there. So when Ryan reaches a little too close to you, you actually feel that spirit love that your body almost can't handle sometimes. Hence the tears. So very cool.
That's a gorgeous story.
That is
my God.
You guys, it's really cool. I've been given a handful or less of those types of visions from the other side to try to align my energy, I think, with my purpose. I feel like all three of us are aligned in that way, where we're bringing information from our pain and from our expansion to others to give them that love and a connection.
One thing, I was so consumed by my own grief as a mother. It took me a few months to check in on my mother, who lost her daughter, my sister, her grandson, and her husband. And before she lost her husband of 62 years, and Wilson just died. She's a prayer warrior. She's been compared to a saint, which really caused her to be so offended. I'm no saint, but she saw a vision because Wilson believed in Jesus, but he wasn't best friends with Jesus like my mom and dad and I are. And she goes, I saw Wilson kneeling in front of Jesus. That's going to make me cry. And Jesus was showing him his hands and his side. And Wilson was on his knees in awe of meeting Wilson. And my sister was right behind Jesus, watching it happen.
Oh.
So, that was my mom's vision.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
I have goosebumps from head to toe.
That's beautiful. So did she find that supremely helpful?
Oh, so helpful.
Yeah.
So helpful.
And it
Because
doesn't
as we
leave you.
discussed,
You
that
know,
last year was not a good year for any of us,
Yeah.
including his grandparents, who he loved. So it was really helpful for both of us. So
Yeah,
check in.
powerful.
Sometimes we forget. Check in with like Ryan's brother every so often,
Yeah.
even though it might be scary. Or check in with
Yeah.
the grandparents or the like. JoJo used to pick up Wilson from school, so
Right.
they have a tray. All my my tribe has a relationship with Wilson, and checking in with them once you're ready.
Mhm.
Like you can actually set boundaries and say, I don't want to hear too much of your pain, but have you experienced Wilson coming to you? 'Cause
Yeah.
the pain is so great, it's hard for me to hear other people's pains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Jason, his brother, struggles with the last couple days not realizing that it was the last couple days.
Right.
So
Sure.
just like we talk about the guilt, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, he has an aspect of that, that he could have done more, he could have stepped in more,
Mhm.
but like John and I, it's just none of us knew
No.
how quick and how dangerous or precipitous his
And that was his
was.
course, right?
Right.
Like you said earlier, and there, unfortunately, no one has control or had
Right.
control. Really, Rosino's friends, went through the same thing, like because he was, his only child. But some of his friends were like, "Man, I didn't do enough. I should have known. I should have seen it coming." I got comments like from all of his tight crew. I got comments. I'm like, and they were like, "Sorry, so sorry," but they felt the need to tell me that.
Yeah.
And so I got those texts, and like I some I didn't even respond because I was, when you just get hit with that, there's just
Oh my gosh.
you can't. You just responding to anyone. In fact, I handed my cell phone to my best friend and said,
Yeah.
"You please just." She's over there, right there. But I did. I literally, kill my social media, kill everything on my phone. Please, just I can't. And I just gave my phone away because it was a lot. But it's true though. But going back to that, it's like believing that, knowing, not believing.
And what are your thoughts, like, if you do have a story that you just remember about? Because I got a call out of the blue from one of Wilson's high school friends, and they remained friends throughout their life. And Wilson gave him a really special present for doing something. He made the NFL,
Oh, wow.
and Wilson put in a crystal or this gorgeous case the football that he made his first touchdown with.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
And Wilson got these people to sign it, and that boy's mom sent me a picture of it. But what smartly she did was, are you in a mental place and a physical place to hear a story about Wilson?
Oh,
that's
wow.
great.
So if I was in LAX,
So thoughtful.
or if I was in anywhere, because I was sobbing, but she asked me, "Are you in a safe place?" And I said, "Yeah," because I was in my home.
Oh, that's a great
Are you in a
question.
safe place to share a story? Are you in the right mental place to hear a story about your child? So that's one more tip.
No,
That's a very good tip
Yeah.
to anyone.
And it did make me happy because it was in that bad year that he still did good things.
right. Right.
Well, that's very nice. I love that.
What other tip? Maybe we should do I think Jimmy Fallon does this, do rapid tips. My first tip is read the book before you give it to a mom or a dad who lost a child. Because sometimes the book the cover doesn't really reveal what's inside the book.
I got boxes of books of people who had near-death experiences and came back, and it was so maddening. That's the best word I can use. I could go darker than that, to be given a book on somebody who had come back because my child was not going to come back.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely don't do that kind of thing.
But the intention is good.
The intention is good.
And
but
so
read
just
the
everyone
book.
has to know that, but read the book before you give it to someone.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's big. My tip fast. Less is more, and just love. Just come with love.
100%.
Less is more.
Don't ask, hey, what can I do to help?
Mhm.
Because you will be met with a blank stare.
Exactly.
We have no idea what will help.
A
Nothing
hug.
will help.
Just hug me.
Yeah.
And don't say anything. Just if you don't know what to say, you don't have to say anything. Just look at me and hug me, and that's all I need. Good.
Yeah.
Less is more. Always.
Yeah.
And I
Always.
barely had an appetite.
Oh yeah.
And so not even asking, can I bring you anything to eat? Or no. Just showing up with maybe watermelon or a
Yes.
popsicle or something that you would actually bring to someone who had a cold.
Yeah, or
So-
if you're walking through the house, I had a friend who was walking through my house after dropping off some food, and we have an entire room devoted to recycling. Just saw that it had built up with people who had brought containers and things to be helpful. And she just said, hey, do you want me to do your recycling? And of course, first response is no, I got it. And then I took a beat and I went, that would be amazing. That would, just look around and see what the need is, because know that they have no clue.
And they have no
They can't
energy.
ask.
Our brain's not working.
Yeah.
You don't worry about plants dying that need watering.
Oh, yeah. It's that, just look around, see
Yeah.
where the need is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I spent one of the greatest gifts that I received from my crew in California at the time I was living in Topanga, were I wanted to be in nature. Nature helped me so much, but I didn't want to be alone in nature. I wanted to be with someone, but I didn't really want to talk a lot. So silent hikes. I went on a lot of quiet hikes where I would see a crow and just be like, wow, there goes Z, or look at your Z and Bruce flying around. A lot of my friends actually, unfortunately, have gone through so much loss also. Not so much losing a child, but so much personal loss, like friendships, friends and parents and stuff like that, that they already knew kind of how to walk a grief walk with me. So I appreciated the silence so much. I had a friend of mine walk into my house, and what a trip. She's just a trip. She's an actor and just an artist and an activist and just a cool human. And she walked in and just looked at me, and she didn't know what to say. She didn't know what to do. And she had this really gorgeous leather jacket on with Basquiat paintings on the jacket. And she, because Rosino, obviously, he was artist, painter and stuff. She literally took the jacket, handed it to me, dropped a bag of groceries with beautiful cheese, a French baguette, and all cool little things, handed me the jacket, left the groceries, and then I love you, and then left.
Yeah.
I appreciated those moments so much because they just owned the fact they didn't really know what to say or do. Everybody in my life actually really did. It was when I started to go out into the world that the fumbles began. Where you start,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know what I
You're
mean?
safe in your home.
Yeah, it was
Right.
oh my God. Yeah.
And I used to think that, thankfully, our tribe showed up, and I was like, oh, I don't need much food. But the food is not only for the grieving; it's for the tribe that's supporting the grieving mother or father.
100%.
So don't say no to food, because there are so many times when I was just in my bed crying with the door closed, and my tribe was just out here eating, talking, ready for me to open my door. They were just there.
Oh, I love that visual.
Yes, I mean, they were just gonna be there because they're not gonna let me wake up alone. And then a few of my friends that are singer-songwriters, they know how much music means to me and how much it fills my heart up. One day I was just sitting here and looking like you look, and they just like maybe 10 just started walking into my homes with guitars.
Oh, I love that.
And I was lying on my sofa down there, and just wiping my eyes, and I just see my friends walk in with guitars and sit down and just start playing music. And they were careful about which songs they played.
Of course.
Oh, wow.
That is beautiful.
But it was whatever your gifts are, like a piece of
that's
art.
a good one. Yeah.
Share whatever your gifts are, and don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Oh, so important. Don't overthink it. The whole less is more thing. It's really true. Just show up with your love. And it translates.
Yeah.
It does. It just translates in the coolest ways, because you love each other.
Right.
You're people in your life, there's great love there to be shared. It's just hard to receive when your walls of healing go up,
Don't come with expectations.
Right.
Because we might really appreciate it, and we don't know how to. We've lost the ability to communicate healthy feelings. I mean, it took me years to figure out what my feelings were in general.
Yeah.
And still working on it.
Well, there really are no words. Really, truly are no words to explain this.
Yeah.
This pain, the pain part of it.
If you figure out a way, and if you're awkward, it's good. Listen to your internal feelings, because if you're awkward, we're gonna feel it. And so just send flowers, or write a sweet note, or do what that feels authentic, because like we said earlier, we can only be authentic anymore.
Yes.
I used to be able to put on a mask really easily, and it's too exhausting for me now. Grief is exhausting enough. Putting on a mask on top of grief is almost too exhausting.
Right. That is a very good thought.
It's so true, right? The way, there are parts of my life where I'd find myself in the mountains and just be able to go to the grocery store in my pajamas, basically. But depending on where I was, there was always an effort to be made in a sense of presentation of self.
Right.
I have zero presentation of self now. I just am myself, and I have good days and bad days with myself and the outside world, and sometimes the outside world feels it a little bit, but we're all learning from each other, and we're pinging off each other, and we get little gold nuggets sometimes, and we leave gold nuggets sometimes for each other here on Earth.
That's a great. I feel like the gold nuggets is a really great visual.
But authenticity too. It's almost like you have to lead by example. So we're leading by example in our grief, which is a really kind of daunting and inspiring task for me. And it's kind of, I get lit by you two, and I love sharing with you guys, and I love doing what we're doing. That's inspiration, but there's that other side to it where you're like, whoa, man,
It is.
The reason is a big deal. So.
It is almost like all three of us have done a week-long program at Onsite, which is a therapeutic environment, and you have no phones, and you do big group work, small group work, all this kind of interpersonal deep dives into feelings and emotions, and then you go home and you realize, oh my gosh, the rest of the world isn't like this. And it is that moment where you go, oh, I want to go back. But that realization that all we can do, like you're saying, is be authentic when we're out in the world. And and not go back into the way we used to hide everything and wear our mask and be chameleons.
It's true too, because
But it is a muscle
it is
to do that.
It is, but like staying open, like in that way, like being open to going out into the world is also so important too, because how the universe communicates through, to me, and obviously I'm sure you guys will agree with this, is through signs, through things
That's
that
a whole different.
that's
That's
a
a
whole
whole
episode.
episode.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we'll see.
That's our next
We'll see.
episode. Here's a foreshadow of our next episode.
Oh, foreshadow, because signs,
That is like us to talk about our signs.
and symbols and
Oh, it's
talismans.
so fun,
Oh.
but the only way that one sees is through the resignment of the ego and the openness of the heart. So to leave your ego behind, even if it's out of fear or self-protection, and to just open yourself as much as possible.
Right. Yeah. And don't scoff. Like, I won't name names, but I feel that my son comes to me from heaven as like dragonflies and hearts, and whether it's in the clouds or in a stone or random whipped cream or whatever, and it makes me feel good. And my dad comes to me as butterflies,
Sure.
and it makes me feel really happy. My sister is ladybugs, and but there's a couple of people that just shake their head and scoff. I'm like, oh, hi, Wilson, and when they scoff, it hurts my feelings because it means something to me, and I do feel connected to my son and my father and my sister.
100%.
So just whatever you do, if you don't agree, don't scoff.
No, or judge. That's just
Or
judge. That's a weakness. When someone does that, that's a weakness within themselves. Like to not be, they're clearly not open. I mean, the universe communicates to us through us the way that we're open, in a way that we're open to receive it. And often that's just in nature.
Right.
Like nature is so incredible, which is what I literally hiked every single day up these. Topanga Canyon is so beautiful and so full of hikes. And I literally, that's what was my happy place, because I just, through my spiritual work, throughout my lifetime, I know to find God in nature. I know to find the universe in nature. That's where my soul is the most open. So I will say, like you, when Bruce and Rosino fly by as crows, you just get the sense and the feeling like, whoa, I'm that, like, what, hi, like.
Right, and it speaks to I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not alone. They
And-
are still with me. And like you're saying, that is so important.
It just lifts you up just even this much.
Yeah.
So don't take that away from us.
Yeah, and so with just being open and love, which is one of the books that, like, the Be Here Now, there's a page in the book where you flip it and they're just the two words, just love. And that is a big thought, because you love each other and love self. Just love. And that said, let's not forget, I don't want to forget that our reading list, that kind of reflects this conversation, like The Mask and Be Here Now and all the books that we've enjoyed from On-Site, etc.
Like The Inner Voice of Love by Henry Nouwen. We'll have links.
It's a link. Well,
and these are books we've read.
Yes.
And there's a great book like on signs, and there's some very incredible books that we've all read, and are on our website, which is valleyofdawning.com. Valleyofdawning.com.
Yeah.
And there is a reading list that has a lot of the books, which we need to update, but of the books that have inspired and fueled our grief walk and our grief healing.
And there'll probably be an episode where we offer songs.
Yes.
This is I don't know if you've had this. This is God's sense of humor, and because like you, in 14 months, my entire life was changed, and with no warning, and so I was just praying really hard one night, and really hard. And I said, God, would you please get a little louder? I mean, I don't know if I should go north, south, west, or east. Would you please get a little louder? And he responded, would you please get a little quieter? So news way too often, especially now. So I was like, okay, got you, noted. And so I didn't put it on the news the second I woke up or before I went to sleep. Instead, I read these books and I listened to positive music when I wake up instead of the news. So we'll share some songs that are helpful too.
Yes.
Yeah, some excerpts from books and songs. Maybe let's do that next time. Like we can grab. There's so many things to be shared. There's so much to be shared. Yeah. Okay.
We are now signing off from our 3rd episode.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Hey, and this is Honey Bunny. Featuring Honey Bunny.
Honey Bunny Brown.
So this is There Are No Words,
But
We have a few. We love you guys.
I love you guys too.
Hey, thanks for listening. We really hope you felt seen and just a little bit less alone. Grief is something you don't have to carry by yourself. Whether you've lost a child or love someone who has, know that the space is here for you. We're learning as we go. We appreciate your patience with our process and welcome feedback. Be sure to take care of your heart. We hope this podcast will help with that. This is There Are No Words, But We Have a Few. Thank you for listening. Join our conversation at www.valleyofdawning.com.